Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around with commemorating Anzac Day. So those of you who are not from Australia and New Zealand, Anzac Day is held on the 25th of April and it's to commemorate the beginning of the Battle of Gallipoli, which happened in Turkey, and it's I suppose the first battle where Australia and New Zealand fought as our own country while we were fighting to support England as allies. It's the first time the Australian and New Zealand soldiers went in to battle with their own uniforms under their own steam and so on. Now Gallipoli itself was a bit of a military disaster per se, but it did shape the nation of Australia and New Zealand and our history in particular, and it's a really interesting chapter of our history. So it's really funny, as someone who, I am an Australian citizen, but I grew up in Ireland. It's one part of the Australian history which I'm really interested in, and when I in 2003 was lucky enough to go to Gallipoli with my sister to commemorate Anzac Day, and it was a life-changing event. It was just amazing to actually see where these soldiers walked, how close the trenches were. Even though the Australians and the Turkish were fighting against each other, the level of respect that they had for each other. And at the end of the war, Kemal Ataturk had a big sign put on Anzac Cove saying basically the bodies of the soldiers who lay there now are now our sons as well. We will look after them. So just that level of respect was amazing. So that's where this page came from, and it's obviously something that, being a teacher, I teach a lot, but I've also got a real personal interest in it. So that's where the background is. So you can see I started out with some really sort of fiery, sunsetty, smoky colours in the background all blended together. And then I cut my own stencil. So I got some clip art from the internet and just used some acetate and created my own stencil. This is sort of the mask of the stencil, the bits that I cut out that I'm going back in and sort of putting in the little bits and pieces in between the legs and stuff, because it's just too hard to try and work that out, and I'm sort of painting it in afterwards, which doesn't necessarily give me the same colours as I had previously, but it helps make it a little bit easier in the background. I'm just using black, so I've got a really, really strong silhouette as well. And I'm also making sure that I've left some room at the bottom, because I want to put in the ode that we say every Anzac Day to right down the bottom. So that's where this page is coming from. One of my favourite memories, I suppose, of teaching Anzac Day to our students is when, as a class, we had our honour board up in our primary school, and we researched the 15 soldiers from our school who went and fought in the First World War, who went to battle on the Western Front and in Gallipoli, and just getting the students to actually realise that those names are not just names up on a wall, but they were real people. They went and fought. This is where they died, or this is where they fought. When we got onto the War Memorial website, we could actually see samples of their handwriting where they signed their documentation. It had descriptions of their height and their eye colour and so on. So it really made those soldiers real people to the students, which was really, really important. And they got really protected. It was lovely, really got protective of them. So 9 years ago, it came up my feed the other day. I cut out silhouettes of soldiers' busts, and we put the information about each soldier on each of the busts. So we had 15 of them, and we placed them next to our flagpole, ready for Anzac Day, as a bit of a surprise for the rest of the school. And usually when it's Anzac Day, our kids will go out and they'll place some flowers at the flagpole. But on this occasion, when we sort of explained the project and what we'd done and researched them and explained these were real people and this is where they were, the students themselves sort of came up, and when they were laying their flowers, they're actually walking amongst the soldiers, and it's just really lovely hearing the conversation of the kids. And they actually started putting their flowers down at the soldiers' busts, and one of the kids walked past, I'm going to give my flowers to John because he doesn't have any flowers yet. And it was just amazing, and it made history alive for the kids, I suppose, which was really, really important. So back to what I'm doing on the page. You can see I drew in the barbed wire because I could not work out how to stencil that on. And then I wanted to make it a little bit more golden, sort of get that golden light. So I'm using my Stabilo Woody with my gold pen, and I'm just sort of blending it in. It's a lovely smooth crayon that you can sort of blend into your page. So I'm just sort of trying to find colours that would work. Then I'm getting my white pencil. I'm putting a little bit of a highlight onto the edges of the soldiers, just like where the light will catch, and this sort of helped pull them out from the background a little bit as well. I wanted to use my white Stabilo pencil, so I didn't want it to be as harsh as having the paint pen on the page. So I found that using the white pencil was really handy, particularly sort of just even on the blades of grass down there, just to help push them out and make them look a little bit more effective. So once I've finished fiddling around with all that, then I'm going to go in with the ode, which I've brought up on my phone. I can't remember what I was going to say. Now, usually I do actually know this off by heart, but those moments where you just don't trust your memory a whole heap and you're recording it. So I just wanted to make sure that I was actually getting it right. So they went with songs to the battle. They were Young, Straight of Limb, True of Eye, Steady, and Aglow. It's by Lawrence. It's not Byron who wrote this, but this is the part that we read out. So you usually read a section of the ode. Oh, it is Binion, sorry. And that's the section that we read out on Anzac Day, which is really, really powerful because they were all young men who went and who died there. So this is my commemoration, I suppose, of the bravery of the Anzac spirit that was shown by those soldiers, and my memories of actually going to Gallipoli, going to Anzac Cove and standing where they once stood, and what effect it had on me. So I hope you enjoyed this page and are able to do maybe your own commemoration page of something you find important as well. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.